Cedric, my friend, good evening. Food in the oven, nice man, nice. Nice, dude. Actually, let me before we have more people join. Let's just actually give me 1 second. Stream is starting. Let me just get this here as well, and let me before we kind of get started, what I'm gonna do, I'll just Max, good evening, buddy. I'll just say interesting. Actually, give me 1 second. Why don't I use ad blockers? I do use ad blockers. I don't use it on this site because I want to support this site. Because at the very least, since I'm using it for free, I can support them by clicking on an ad, right? It doesn't cost me anything and they make some money. So it's a matter of principles, right? I'm not a communist. I understand that nothing in life is free. Shit. And good evening, everybody. Let me just do one thing very quickly before we do some... Nah, shit, that's not what I wanted. Give me 1 second. Let's go. Before we get started today, I just want to do something. Where was it? Illustrations, yeah. Yeah, actually, oh wow, this I like. So we're gonna get, nice. Let's actually get a PNG of that. And let's go over here. Let's do this just before more people join, then we're gonna start coding. Then I'm gonna move this bad boy here. Or actually, can I do like SVG editor? Something like this, right? Can I do this? Yes. Give me 1 second. Yeah, can we what is our programmer network? Give me 1 second. Let me just do this. Give me 2 seconds. I'll grab this thing here. And then... come on. Where's my cursor? Yeah, actually, you're right. We can do it here, right? Nice, exactly. Yes. I forgot about that. And then we can do this, right? And then I can kind of get rid of that. And I can then do... Yeah, I actually forgot about that. You're right. Then I'll do this and that and... wait, this was supposed to be a PNG, right? They are free, yeah, but we're not using them for commercial use anywhere, right? So either way, but yeah, I think they are. All right, that's a bit weird. That's not really a PNG, is it? I mean, it's okay. We can just crop this crap. Where is it? Ah, Jesus Christ, man. Come on. So annoying, dude. PNG scam, exactly. That's not a PNG, bro. Come on. Don't give me a PNG with the background, man. Come on. Have some decency in life. Seriously. Jesus Christ. Come on, dude. Don't give me, man. Like, come on, dude. Right? Yeah, you get what I mean, guys, right? Don't, like... That's literally sacrilege, man. Giving a PNG with the background, right? That's literally like, come on, man. You don't do that to people, man. Like, Jesus, dude. What is next, right? Beer without alcohol. You know how I always troll my friends at work. Give me a beer, alcohol-free beer. I'm like, come on, dude. Just take a soda, man. You know, just take a freaking soda, dude. Don't buy a beer. It's the same with PNGs. Craft, good evening, friend. Okay, give me a second and we start coding. I just actually want to do one thing. And I hope everybody having a good night. It's been a while. I don't know when I streamed the last time. It's been some days, right? What the hell happened there? I don't know. Vikrant, good evening. We're just building programming network platform here, but I'm just the stream is starting now. I'm just wanted to do something quickly. Fuck this. Let's do it another time. It's okay. All right. Cassie, my friend, good to see you, dude. Thank you for coming, man. All right. So yeah. So good evening. Good evening, everybody. Again. Good to see you. It's been a while. Today we're gonna be. Let me actually see. Are we live on YouTube? We are live on YouTube. I can see people on YouTube, right? Yeah. Yeah. We are live on YouTube. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So what I'm gonna do today. Yeah, man. I don't stream much anymore. Just maybe 2-3 times a month, I think. So yeah. All right. So let's get back to some coding here. So I've been doing a lot of work on Yale, the open source library that I built, right? That we built, and today I'm gonna. Morris, good evening, buddy. Good to see you. So this is the PR I have. Essentially, yesterday I did a lot of work on the library because I haven't streamed much and I haven't done much work. Yeah. So I had to upgrade React of this library to version 19. I had to do a lot of stuff. And if we actually go ahead and if we open this thing up, I'm actually gonna just go through a couple of things to review, and then I don't know what we're gonna do, but I need to work on the network, and we're gonna have a Q&A as always, so we're gonna answer some questions. So I'll just go through some of the components. I've fixed all the tests. This is, yeah, so actually I have my notes here, let me see. Date input, button, red, gray, green, tailwind migration, done. Some color seems off, done. Sorry to hear that, Cedric, man. I'll see you when you're better, man. Just ping me whenever you have the time. Still Morris, thank you very much for the sub, dude. That's very kind of you. Happy that you find these endeavors useful. Red. Okay, so let's start somewhere simple. Let's start the stream simple. And Leo, good evening, friend. And let's see where it takes us today. So this is our library. Okay, so I can see that these some of these things now no longer work. So if I actually go to button stories, we can see that we actually no longer have these classes properly working, which is button dash dash gray. What's happening here? This stream is typically about building this platform. So if you go to this URL, you can sign up. So this is a platform for developers, right? Today I don't have. I'm not a typical streamer, so I don't really have a glorified kind of what I'm gonna do today type of stream. But today I'm gonna be working on. I can maybe give you some sort of an idea. I'll just be fixing some things on the platform. And more specifically now, I'll just go through this is my core library that I built for this project, my component library called Yale, yet another interface library. So I'm just going to go very quickly through it and see, because I did major library upgrades last night I just want to see things that got broken, because for sure some things did get broken, right? It did break. That's a grammatical error right there. Okay, so I'll kind of try with that. I'll just try something first. So yeah, so we need to figure out now how to redefine these things, right? So let's open the cursor up. How do we redefine these with Tailwind 4? My Tailwind config is inside. All right, let's see. So let's start maybe there, because this is what I have written on in my notes. And then we'll see what we do. And also I should probably change the model here, because this is slow. What? Jesus, so bad. Sometimes this AI can be really, really bad. Yeah. Give me 1 second. All right, let's figure it out ourselves. So this no longer clearly works. So we'll basically, yeah. And if I go over here, I suppose all right, let's give that a shot. Otherwise, we'll just move away from that for now. Give me 2 seconds. What is this? Yo, no. It's the same one. It's the same one. Alright, so let's leave this for now. Screw it. Where is it? Let me just... Where's my... Yeah, so what I'm gonna do, I'll just nuke that. I'll get rid of this. Alright, cool. And then, yeah, that should be fine, right? Cool. Alrighty. This we will still need to fix. Yeah, that I'll still need to fix. Let me just commit this very quickly. Then we have one more thing to fix, and then yeah, we'll see where we go from here and what we do today in this stream. Alrighty, cool. I think this might have been fixed already. I'll just move it over here. And separate it like this. Cool, okay. Alrighty. Let's run the Docker Compose stuff, and then let's alright, let's do one interesting thing. So what I've built basically as a generic polymorphic thing is this image dialog, right? This is for the whole project. Linux or Windows, depending for what, man. That's like asking an umbrella or a car, right? You need to be more specific. That's like saying a shovel or a jigsaw, right? Depending what you're doing. Okay, so let me show you one thing. Let me show you one thing that's pretty tough to do, actually. I use Linux for dev now as well. I use Windows Linux subsystem now running on Windows, right? There are many developers using different operating systems for different things, right? Most programmers in Twitch are not statistically. Most programmers in Twitch are a statistical error. So you should not look an average Twitch streamer and think that's how programming is done, right? Number one. And number two, you need to articulate your questions a little bit more specifically, especially as an engineer, right? You cannot allow yourself to be absolute about these things. It's not one or the other. It's, again, like every other tool, it's about the use case and what you're doing. You're not going to be writing C# on Linux, right? For example. Or you're not going to be building video games on Linux for Windows. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let me show you one thing. So basically, let's actually go to draw.io and let's discuss it. So let's talk about file uploads, right? Let's talk about file uploads in this context. Let's talk about image uploads, right? So I think this is going to be an interesting one. So all right. So file uploads, image uploads, right? And we're going to talk now from the perspective of the front end and the back end, right? From the client and the back end. So let's just say here, in our case, image upload, right? So how do you do that properly? And that is tough doing properly. So let me explain why. So when you're doing image uploading or file uploading in general, the reason why it's a little bit annoying and tough is that there's several things you have to do. So first thing that you need to do is you need to select the file, right? So you need to provide some interface, some input where user selects a file, right? At that point in time, when user selects a file, we need to validate this file, right? So then the next step is validation, right? What do we have to validate? We have to validate several things, and we have to do this on both ends, right? So we need to validate the client and the backend, right? Or let's say API in this context. Rebecca, good evening, friend. So what do we validate, right? Well, we validate the type of the image, we validate the size, and that's typically the most important, right? Type and size, right? And again, we need to do this on both ends because again, not everybody is gonna try to upload an image through your form. People will, use curl, you know, and whatever, and try to push files to your server, right? So we need to do this. Okay. So after we validate the file, and the file is either too big or it has a wrong file type, but let's imagine it's great. So, you know, validation complete. At this point in time, we need to do a few other things. We, for example, often want to compress the image, right? Compress the image, right? So we can save. What do you call it? We don't want to compress it because of storage, for example. It's not that we want to save 100 kilobytes because storage is expensive. Storage is very cheap. We want to compress the image so our service that we're building, our client, is faster. It's more performant, right? So basically, you could also say it affects the SEO. So we want to keep the images as small as possible in this context, right? So let's call this step compress image, right? And this compress step can happen depending what else we have to do, right? This compress can happen right together with validation. So hey, it's valid, then compress. So, and then of course we have the cropping of the image as I'm doing now. So, you know, user wants to upload an avatar, right? So for example, if we go to, let's say, GitHub, and on GitHub, you wanna, let's say, upload this avatar here, right? When you click edit, you know, let's say I'm gonna choose this image again, you know, you can crop the image, right? So you can choose, hey, I want just my eye to be on the image, right? So this is the cropping, right? And then of course, the compression can happen before or after, and compression can even happen during validation. So you can say, let me compress the image. So you could say, let me validate the type, then let me compress, and then let me validate the size of the image, right? So maybe you want to remove the friction for users. So you say, validate the type, then compress, and then validate, right? Either way, right, this is the kind of the process, and some of these steps might happen in different order. That really depends how you want to do it. So for example, what I just said, you can say, hey, here I'm going to validate the type, for example, then I'm going to compress, and then I'm going to validate the size. So maybe user is selecting an image that's too large, but when you compress it, it's no longer too large, right? And then we crop it, and then obviously the next step is to upload that to your server, to your API, right? So this is basically upload somewhere, right? Some service or your API, right? In our case, that this is going to be our API, and then we're going to upload to Cloudflare images. Which means here that when the cropping is done, we essentially want to send this as a multi-form data, right? So we want to send this as a form data, right? And if you don't know, form data is an API in the browser. You must have seen this many times before. You create a form data, and then you append certain fields to this form data. And this form data essentially mimics the behavior of the forms in the browser, right? So you will get a blob or something, you're gonna have some buffer or whatever, you're gonna have some temporary representation of your image in memory, then you're gonna append it you're gonna append that blob to this, and then you're gonna upload that thing. So you can see, fundamentally, it's pretty complex, you could say. So uploading files is complex because there's a lot of things that you have to do, and you want to do it right? And you hopefully want to do it once in your project. So you should really only need to do this once per project, and then you should have this functionality reusable across your project. So you don't want to be doing this for every different type of file upload, right? So you want to build a functionality, a system, a subsystem that does this for you all the time for everything. So with that said, right, if we take a look at my own Yale library that I built for Programming Network, you can see we kind of have that here. We have this image dialog, right? And if we go to that image dialog that I created, I composed it basically component composition, right, off of several different components. We have the image crop, we have the image up, we have the image, we have the file. What is it called? What did I call it? Let's actually go through the code. So if you take a look at this thing that I'm building, basically I'm mimicking the behavior of GitHub, what I just showed you in GitHub. We have an HTML5 dialog. I have my own dialog component that's just basically a wrapper around the native dialog in the browser. If you didn't know, native dialog HTML, there's a native dialog component, so you no longer need to do crazy things, create portals, whatever. You can use this native dialog in the browser. There's literally a tag in HTML called dialog, right? And it's very, very efficient. It's very performant, so you don't need to do crazy things anymore. So my component here, this dialog here, is, as you can see, just I have some React logic wrapping it, right? When to close, when to open, but fundamentally it's just an HTML5 dialog. So we compose this image dialog off of the dialog itself. Then we have the image crop, we have the cropping functionality, and then here we have the image input. An image input is essentially this thing here. So when I select a file, I do the validation, blah, 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 and then if everything's fine, then we can move on here. So if I actually go into my image input component over here, we can see that we have, if we scroll a little bit down, we have the input here, blah, blah, blah. And then we can see we have on change, and then here we do the validation, right? So hey, are there any files? Okay, if there's no file, return. Then we get the file type, we get the name, and then I have my image utils class over here, where I wrote a bunch of these utilities to validate the file, to get the type, blah, blah. So you can see here we have the validate function that checks the type. We check the size here, and then we return. This is, you could say, almost like Golang, right? So this is not idiomatic JavaScript. This is more of a Golang type of syntax where you, for every single function, you return an error and a value, right? So this validation here is basically treating, we're treating errors as first-class citizens, right? So we validate all of that when we selected blah, 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 blah. And then if it's all valid, right, then we call this on file loaded. So this on file loaded is going to be called successfully, and then we do basically the rest of the things. So this is just, if you want to, of course, if you want to see how this works more, I think you can just go, and actually I didn't push these changes yet, but you can find this as part of the Programmer Network Organization repositories. It's actually, it's here. Yes, it's over here. Nice, there you go. All right, anyway, so I'm gonna continue now with that basic. So now you know kind of what's happening now, so I need to finish that. So I have one problem now with the dialog. It works and it's all awesome, and it yields base64 image when I save. So we can see the base64 image here. If I go base64 viewer, we can see that we are in fact cropping it, so all good. The only issue, I mean, actually, yeah, there's actually two bugs that we have, and that's what I'm going to fix now. Okay, cool. So that's that. Okay. So I'm gonna maybe talk a little bit less and fix this. So essentially, yeah, we have the handle save, which is gonna be this is where we're gonna do an HTTP request. So this is going to be our HTTP request. Here we're going to call the service. And as you can see here, we get the blob. We convert the blob to a base64 image, and then we print it for now. But this is basically where we're going to... So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to create maybe another story. And I'm going to call it with failed HTTP request, and I'm just gonna mimic that behavior here. What I'm actually going to do, I'll just create a quick utility somewhere inside of this file. So I'll just say const blob to base 64. Yeah, exactly. And then I'll get rid of this. And then I'll do the same down here. But over here I'll fail. So I'm gonna do something like return promise.reject as soon as I actually do this, so we don't need that. But I'm gonna reject this after some period. So I'm gonna say promise dot we're gonna say actually return new promise, resolve and reject, and we're gonna time out basically and I guess on save is expecting nothing, right? Yeah. So I guess we just need to reject nothing, I suppose, right? All right, cool. So let's actually see what happens now if I select an image and wait a second. Actually, no. So when I save, it should fail. And it does fail, actually. Here, it fails with nothing because we're not actually returning any error. So we're going to now respond that with the error over there. And then we'll need to capture that error, of course, right? So that's basically what's left. So we should see the fail to save image, sure. Okay, so this is very important. So let's go back to over here. So we have this handler here on save cropped image. And this is essentially where we'll capture this, right? So here we can actually set the validation error, where technically we could say error.message or that, and then the error has to be an instance of a JavaScript error, right? Well, then we have to cast over there. Yeah, sure. Okay, let's try that again. And then I suppose... So yes, so if there is an error, we need to do a couple of things, right? So we need to maybe close this and then show the error, right? So if there's an error, we need to say on error, we need to say on close, right? We need to trigger this, we need to close it, and then we should see the error there, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, I see. That's good. We need the loading state as well. Chad, hey buddy. Okay, so let's introduce another state. So const is saving. Yeah, that's not a... That's fine, right? And then we'll take this actually out. So let's take this bad boy from here. Let's take it outside. Let's say const handle save, and then let's do this. just so we don't make something that's inherently already ugly, which is the JSX, even more uglier, right? So we'll say handle save over there. We'll actually replace this with is saving, and then we'll say it's disabled if it's saving, so you can't click the button again, right? Okay, cool. And then, yeah, we'll set this there, and then we'll say finally set saving is false, right? Okay, cool. So let's try that again, the one that we want to fail. So we do this, save. This should now be spinning. Actually, let's also go to the story and increase this. Let's say this this request takes 3 seconds to resolve. So let's try that again. All right, that's yeah, that's okay, I suppose. Let's maybe also, we have this cancel button, right? Let's also disable this when it's uploading. Disabled is saving, right? All right, cool, cool. Okay, great. So we got that state covered. So that's good. Let's have the successful one. So we'll basically do the same thing, right? So we'll move here to handle save. And the only thing we're gonna do differently here is we will I will resolve the base64 image. So here, after 3 seconds, we'll say, do you not see the link on top of the chat? Because I need to then do something about it, honestly. Do you see the link that I kind of appended to the chat? All right, cool. Okay, so that's kind of going to mimic the success, right? So this is going to mimic the successful state. And if we actually go over here, so essentially, yeah, let's just print base64 image. That's it. Basically, at this point in time over here, we'll simply, you know, upload this somewhere. Okay. So let's go default over here. Let's open the console. And let's succeed now. Save. And boom, there we go. So this is the image. Was it cropped properly? It was. Super. Okay, great. So that also works. It would be super nice to write tests for this, but that's gonna be really tough, I believe. And then let's actually re-enable the max file size stuff. Let's at least manually test as much as we can. So let's go to, let's say, wallpapers. Yeah, the size of an avatar must not exceed. And also, let's actually globally search avatar. The size of an avatar. Where is this avatar coming from? I think it's coming from, yeah, exactly. So let's generalize this so we don't have to be too clever and extend it with additional stuff. Size must not exceed blah blah blah. Yeah. Nice. Okay, cool, cool, cool. That's great. Let me just try once more. Yeah. Very good. Okay. And there's only one bug that I know of left. And that is once the image is loaded, the crop size is not properly set. Actually, I can see some UI stuff as well now. Wait, is that... Give me 1 second. Is that... Yeah, I can also see some UI kind of glitch. Let me take a look at that as well. Wait, let me just test this. I see. Okay. I see. Okay. A beautiful picture. Beautiful picture. You mean this guy here and this guy over here? So pretty. So pretty. Absolutely. Can't agree more. Can't agree more. Smart, beautiful. Smart. Did I say smart? Yeah. Beautiful. Absolutely. I agree. Yeah. I mean, I'm already getting offers, you know, for all sorts of magazines and stuff. Like, hey, Alex, you wanna appear in all of these magazines? I'm like, shut up. Backdrop. I see. That's never gonna happen. That's never gonna happen. Let's be real. And I don't even know if I would want to happen, right? Because you don't really need funding if you build something of value, right? Not everything has to be a hyper startup, right? So technically, technically, it's not really necessary. Because, I mean, if you manage to build something of value, then you don't really need to worry much about funding, right? A lot of people deceive themselves like, if I just had funding, I would blah, blah, blah. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Because if you can build something valuable, and that's the hardest thing today, let's face it, right? Nearly anyone can build apps today. That has never been easier, right? But as it's more accessible, it gets increasingly more hard building anything of value, right? Because there's a massive oversaturation on the market. I can write programming language. Wow, man, that's nobody can do that. That's impressive. Yeah, it's easier to burn to other people's money if you have exactly. This is so fucking annoying, man. I don't get where is this shit. Wait, I need to clean up some crap over here, man. It's really irritating me a lot now. Wait, dialogue. And then is this the dialogue content? It is dialogue. Where is it? Dialogue. Oh, I see. So that was annoying me. Fair enough. Okay. Wallpapers. Yeah, so this is... Oh, fuck my life. Finally, man. Finally it works. Jesus Christ. Okay, good. Finally. Okay. Let me try. Rebecca, how have you been? We haven't seen each other in a long time, and I'm not streaming much, and even when I am, you're not around anymore. You don't love me. So what's up? Anything new in life? Chica friend, good evening. Been busy, I see. Fair enough, that's good. That's good. That is very good. I already... Chica, you know that I already have one wife and soon 2 kids, right? So thank you for the offer, my friend, but one is already too much. One is already too many. So, and I know that I would have to feed you as well, Chica, so no thanks. Nice, Rebecca, nice. Okay, fuck yeah, this is very good. So we're almost done with this one. There's only one bug we need to fix, and then we should be good. Super nice, man. This is better than what GitHub has built, I must proudly say. Okay, so the only bug we have left, as I said, is that... B Chuckle, good evening, buddy. Thank you very much for coming, man. All right, so the only thing... No, actually, this is... Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do... I will... go to my stories. And instead, I'll say class name... And then this thing, right, instead. Have you seen kind of startups? Okay, we have a couple of questions. Let me answer some questions here. Give me 1 second. Oh shit, I have this stream is starting crap still. Okay, let me read some questions. Hey, I've been struggling with motivation lately. Work deadlines are super demanding and it feels like it's never enough. The pressure is overwhelming and I'm entering into my career. Any advice on how to handle this without burning out? Alright, let me, yeah. So, I've been struggling with motivation lately. Work deadlines are super demanding and it feels like it's never enough. The pressure is overwhelming and I'm only 3-4 years into my career. Any advice on how to handle this without burning out? David, pressure usually comes from not from too much work. This is not my own quote, it's a quote from Jeff Bezos, believe it or not. But I agree with him on very few things in life. That's one of them, is that pressure usually comes from the things that, not from too many things that you have to do, but from too many things that you can't do. Basically failing to meet these expectations. So the only advice I could have would be to ask you a couple of more questions before I can give you anything meaningful, because it really depends what the problem is. Is it the problem with you or is the problem with company, etc., right? So if you can provide a bit more context, because there's always going to be deadlines, right? Hopefully, there's nothing worse than getting bored at work. So I think there's always going to be deadlines, but you need to elaborate a little bit more. I mean, you can have skill problems. Maybe you're not competent in certain area, or maybe the company just needs to hire more people, but then that's a management problem, right? So please provide a little bit more context so we can not talk vaguely, right?
37% line efficiency? That's bad. Let me call my supervisor.
What is this?
Have you been taking a look at line 6? It's not doing well at all. On it, sir.
Alright, let's see the Optify dashboard and see what's the issue with line 6. Oh, it's workspace 17. Workspace 17 is the bottleneck.
Yeah, capitalism, man. This is
Hey, number 17. What's going on, man? You're in red. I've been working all day.
You're working all day?
Yeah. Capitalism 101, isn't it, Rebecca, right? Beautiful. Beautiful. Whew. Okay, but David, if you can provide a little bit more context, then we can talk. I mean, honestly, I don't know why people even complain. I mean, that's what capitalism is, right? I don't even honestly understand the complaints. I mean, we workers around the world are. Why do you think that you can get your shitty mug or your shirt for $5, right, on Amazon? Who do you think that makes that, right? So I mean, it's kind of very paradoxical and even hypocritical to look at these types of apps in the West here where we live and say, oh my God, this is so inhumane, while we've been buying shit from China and Vietnam and India for like decades. I mean, we do all know how working conditions in these factories in China are, right? So it didn't bother me to buy this iPhone or buy this shitty microphone or any of this, right? So why would it bother me now when it comes to the Western part of the world, right? I mean, I try it. I at very least try not to be a hypocrite, right? So, I mean, we've been exploiting children for our own gain for decades. I mean, again, why do you think you can buy a fucking plastic shitty thing on Temu for $3, right? This is not made by aliens. It's made by somebody who is smelling that plastic 24/7 in a factory somewhere in China, right? Or worse than China, right? So the thing is, like, it's just like, of course, it's always, oh my God, it's just so inhumane when it comes to us. And this is the same with everything here in the West. When the wars come closer to our borders, then we panic. But when we see a bunch of fucking people killing each other very far away from us, we don't actually care. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see more of this coming to Europe as well. I often see you so motivated, and sometimes I find it hard to get started, and I end up procrastinating. Man, the main reason why I'm motivated is my family, man. For me personally, there is nothing more... For me personally, there's nothing even close to meaning in life than having kids, right? So my motivation has very little to do with my tasks, so don't think of me as I'm different than you. I'm sure that we're very similar in tasks and stuff like that. My motivation comes from very different places, and my motivations comes from the fact that my work doesn't define me. There's many other things in my life that define me, and work is not even 1 out of 10 of them, right? I play saxophone and guitar, and I have a wife and kids and a bunch of other things. These things motivate me a million times more than my work. I've been working for almost 20 years. I love my work and I love my team, don't misunderstand me. And of course my ego is the greatest of all, right? So on top of all of these things, kids, family and stuff, there's this massive ego of mine, like Rebecca says. But jokes aside, if they are jokes, you have to find things in life, man, besides work. Work is a necessity, and for some people, hopefully the lucky ones, and I feel I'm one of those as well, it's something that you look forward to. I actually love to go to work, and I love my colleagues, but it's not always like that. So the best way to overcome that level of anxiety from work is to actually gain other interests than just work, right? Otherwise, if you let yourself to be so affected by it, then right, it's the same. We spoke many times in this stream about productivity, right? Many people seek for productivity hacks in wrong places. Productivity can be improved the best if you're healthy physically and then mentally, in healthy body, healthy spirit. So productivity as well as anxiety at work, the best hacks have nothing to do with Pomodoro techniques, your Kanban boards, your keyboard, your split keyboard, your quadruple keyboard, your Vim or whatever. Productivity doesn't come from these things. Productivity comes from balance in life, right? And this is not bullshit. This is not some sort of some bullshit out of the book crap. This is literally the most true thing you will ever hear. Because you know that for those of you who've been watching my stream, I'm a realist, and I don't actually give a shit if any of you are gonna like what I say or not. That's why I stream as I want, because I can say what I genuinely believe. I don't need to sell my crap to any of you, right? So I'm telling you this genuinely, David. The best way to optimize is to focus on more important things in life than just work. Because I've met throughout my career so many people who are defined by work, and it always ends bad. It always. Either they get fired and then they get disappointed, they quit and they realize nothing has changed for the company because they quit, and then they start wondering, oh my god, I was putting so much effort, I was doing so great, and nobody cared when I left. It's just work, man. You, as a person A, had some skills, and some company said, hey, you know, person A, we need these skills and we're willing to pay this much for them. And this is your mutual contract between you and your company, right? So don't ever think there's anything different. At that moment in time, when you no longer provide that value that they're paying you for, you'll be gone, and vice versa. At that time, when that company no longer pays you enough, maybe when you start feeling that you're undervalued, you're gonna find new work. So again, my motivation comes from my family, not from my work, right? My kids, when I wake up and I know that I have to feed my kids, I have to pay my bills, I don't need more motivation, because it's not a matter of will I, it's a matter of I must. And when you must, you don't really have a choice if you're motivated or not. You better be, because you're gonna have to do it anyway, right? So that's how it works for me. Do you have any intuition what could happen to Europe in IT markets, since all ecosystems are almost 100% US products? Yeah, Google to manage just couple cloud. Europe is fine, man. I mean, Europe is fine. Europe is fine, dude. Jobs are fine. Programming jobs are not going anywhere. It's gonna be tougher for juniors for some time at least. Programming, man, is not going anywhere. Programming is hard. Programming is a lot more than generating login screens and React components, right? So don't overestimate the AI capabilities, at least not yet. And even if AI was 10 times better, you would still need programmers, because you still would need people who actually understand thousands of lines of garbage crap that's generated by regex on steroids, right, as I call it. So programming is not tech is not going anywhere, man. Technology is hard. For technology, you have to understand not just about programming. Technology in general is very hard for an average person. So average person doesn't. Nah, I'm not worried about anything, dude. I'm literally not worried at all. Dude, just enjoy it. Learn new stuff every day. Learn valuable things for your career. Don't waste energy, man. I mean, at the end of the day, look, it's really simple. We can talk about assumptions and feelings and etc., but we can't affect it anyway. So the only thing you can do is you can learn every day and become better. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna be in a better spot if you do that than if you don't do it. So don't overthink it, man. Just you know, follow the trends in a sense of use the AI to build things if you're not already. Use the AI when you're cooking. Use the AI use it for everything, because it is definitely the present and the future. Only an idiot would argue that. So AI today is what internet was in the 90s or early 90s, right? So it's here to stay. It's the new reality, and everything in the future is going to be built around AI. Your smartwatch, your mobile phone, your laptop, your smart home, everything's going to be AI. It's going to be like in the movies. In 2-3 years from now, you're going to be like, hey, Sophie, what should I do today? Hello, Master Alex. Good morning to you as well. I mean, we can already build this with Alexa and AI, right? So this is not science fiction. This is reality. So just learn things as they come, man, and don't waste energy. Like, I see a lot of people predicting we're gonna downfall of developers, downfall of this. That's like, shut the fuck up, man. Just right, it's pointless to waste energy. David, don't allow yourself, man. Don't allow yourself to do that, dude. Like, dude, man, like, I maybe it's just good to hear from someone else, but dude, don't, yeah, man, don't do that to yourself, man. I mean, I feel you, man. I can't say more. I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist, or whatever. I'm just another bullshitter on the internet, right? Like everyone else. But yeah, don't allow yourself, man. You have a family, man. Obviously, as you state now, and they're the most precious things, man. The jobs and companies, they come and go, man, just like hamburgers, right? So fuck that, man. If you will not die, right, or starve. So I wouldn't worry much, man. Because if you get sick, bro, and you leave your family in a shitty state, don't allow yourself to do that, man. I've been working on database development, blah blah. My contract just ended, and while looking for a job, I'm improving it. Yeah, man. Like, I mean, as I was saying a couple of streams ago when I streamed, learning Postgres is probably the most valuable skill, and always has been, that you can do. So if any of you are wondering, hey Alex, what should I learn? Learn MySQL or Postgres, right? That is one of the most amazing things you can learn. Super valuable, super valuable. Okay, cool, fellas. Cool. Very nice discussions. Very nice discussions. I like it. Okay, let me fix another the last bug that I actually know here. Okay, so essentially, wait, do I have Excel-y? No. Give me 1 second. What the fuck? Yeah, I do have it. What? Ah, I see. Okay. So I suppose I have to create some sort of a... I just need some... Shit. Oh, no, it's here. Okay. I just need something for myself. So basically, our image loads, right? So we actually select image. The image loads, right? Wow. Wow, what an arrow. Beautiful. Oh! Come on, dude. It's fine. Jesus. Okay. So the image loads. So the event fires there, right? So we have the image input. When a file is loaded, we set the image input selection. And then we have the image input selection, which is the blob, as far as I can see. No. Yeah, it's a file that has base64 representation, file data, which is either a stream or... So yeah, file data, okay. I don't remember how I did this. Okay, I see. So essentially... To be honest, I don't know. I'm also using Draw.io for many years as well. And I don't know why I actually used Excel Draw now. But yeah, Draw.io is really all you need. All you need, especially for your for the things you don't want to pay. Miro, if you need like a cross team, if you need to collaborate with people, Miro is the way to go. But your company should be providing for that, paying for that. So somehow, essentially, we need to tell. So essentially, we have the file input, right? So we have the file input, aka file selection. So when this happens, we need to tell the cropper, so the image crop thing, that file is loaded, and that we need an initial crop, right? So this is the problem right now. So this is the only bug that I know before I want to deploy this. So let me go back here. Yeah, exactly, right? So this is gonna open my dialog. This is gonna set that. Then we have this fella, right? That's handle save. That's okay. So the crop itself, the crop should in theory work, but it doesn't. And the problem is that if we go and take a look at this thing here, and if I just click save now, let's see what happens. That should fart out. Yeah, read as data URL and file read, blah, 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 right? And that's because over here, I believe, the cropped image, let's actually print it, what it actually is when we just do. So that's the only really thing that I'm aware of that's not done yet. So we save, and you can see that it's actually a reference. So it's the image ref. It's the, so it's not the crop itself, it is the reference to an actual image. Essentially, it happens here, right? Wait. What? Come on, dude. Why are you kidding me, bro? So weird. Okay. So let's do that. Let's try that again. So weird. That's the only thing that's left. So yeah, you can see this is the initial blob. So this event fires, and that is what's wrong. So let's go into there and fix that. So if I go into my component over here, and this is the event, and we basically need this logic to happen. So not the reference to the current image, which refers this native native image HTML tag, but we need instead to crop it, and that is going to be a little bit problematic. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean the problem is essentially this, right? I mean, we should just not have that, that's all, right? So I'll just move this temporarily over here, just for fun. And see what happens now. And I have a feeling it's gonna kind of work, but I believe that crop is gonna be wrong. So if I do this, so you can see now we're actually getting a blob. So if I save, we're still getting a blob. And let's actually go to our story. And if we go to the successful one, let's print this bad boy here after this timeout. Let's reduce the timeout to 0 so we don't have to wait. So it happens immediately, right? So bam. So you'll see now that we're gonna get the yeah. So we got the base64 image, but if we actually preview the image, you'll notice that it's wrong. So basically, it's the initial crop is wrong. Give me 1 second. So we're almost there, I think, but not quite. So let's see. So you can see now, in theory, this should be the crop. So we should see this little guy sitting in the picture, right? Because you'll notice as soon as I trigger this event, if I just click on the border of this, bam, you can see we have triggered the manual crop. So if I now save, we're gonna get an actual base64 representation of this image, but we should see this guy in the picture, right? Which is what we do. So you can see that the issue here is essentially that we somehow need to programmatically trigger that crop even without interfacing with the cropping library, right? That is the problem. And I was kind of hoping that this would do it, right? What happens if I just get rid of this just for fun? I don't think that's gonna make it any better, to be honest with you, but let's just give it a shot. Does this... Nah, I can already see it's wrong. Yeah. Shit, man. How do we... I mean, one thing... Wait, let me think. Because this is a third-party library I'm using, let's actually go... Can you tell me what happened to WebAssembly initiative? I don't think that anything happened to WebAssembly. WebAssembly still exists. It's just the use case for WebAssembly is very... I was always a little bit confused why people were so obsessed by WebAssembly, because the thing is, the premise of I remember when WebAssembly Alpha, when we were in the Alpha WebAssembly, I remember there was this video game demo in the browser. There was like Unreal Engine or something like that they demoed and said, look, now we can run video games in the browser. But there were fundamental issues with this. Number one, you will not get a C++ developer that can build a video game for an operating system, for a native platform, to build serious modern games that run in the browser, because no matter what you run in the browser, it's never going to be as performant as running natively on the operating system, right? That's just common sense. It's not a matter of discussion. It's just common sense, right? I mean, you are, instead of running it on the OS using all the static libraries and actually all the dynamic libraries and dynamic linking and all of that, now you are kind of trying to build a modern video game that's encapsulated in Chromium. So it's kind of crazy. So in simple words, no. Okay, to put it this way, WebAssembly still has an incredible use case, and it's used for like a 3D application such as AutoCAD, Autodesk, automotive industry and stuff like that. So it's still very useful, and it's still very good that it exists, but it's covering a small marginal market of web applications in the browser. You're not going to be building web page using WebAssembly. I mean, our reactjs can run 7% faster, right? Just something arbitrary, you get what I mean? So it's just the problem that WebAssembly solves is a super tiny subset of problems that the web browsers have, right? Because an average user reads CNN, BBC, Fox News, watches porn and Pornhub. You could actually say that Pornhub could probably benefit from WebAssembly, at least for some stuff. But how many people really play serious video games in the browser, right? If you have another, MMORPG, you're not going to play it in your Firefox, right? You're going to install that somewhere. So that's why, right? So I wouldn't say that WebAssembly is dead. Actually, I think WebAssembly, they had this made with WebAssembly. Let's take a look at that. Made with WebAssembly. I mean, even the website, isn't this ironic? Made with WebAssembly. The website doesn't work. Jesus Christ. All right, now it works. So Google Earth makes total sense, right? It can utilize hardware better, blah, blah, blah. MongoDB Compass, also pretty awesome, right? It's very expensive though. Qt, alright, I didn't know that they have a Qt built in WebAssembly. That's weird. It's probably some sort of variation, right? TensorFlow.js is using WebAssembly. Makes sense. So you can see, like, it kind of makes sense. When you look at this list, you're like, yeah, this makes total sense. I can easily, Figma, you can easily see why they would use something like WebAssembly, right? Because they're, as I mentioned a minute ago, 3D stuff, a lot of assets, a lot of GPU rendering, a lot of images, videos, static assets, right? So it makes total sense. It's total sense that they do this, right? But building a social platform in WebAssembly or building a website or a web app wouldn't make much sense, right? Which, again, is why, going back to your question, why is it no so popular? Qt, you can see, they actually didn't even know that they have a Qt in the browser now. That's crazy, man. I used to write Qt more than 20 years ago when I was writing C++. And there we go, right? Exactly what I was talking about. Look at this. This is like a 3D like simulation, right? I was using Plotly, so I mean, if so you really have two choices, right? You either use WebAssembly for very heavy stuff, such as this. You see, this makes total sense. You use D3 with Canvas, so you really have Canvas. Besides WebAssembly, Canvas is probably the most efficient API in the browser for rendering vector-based, complex-based things, right? So something like D3, like Plotly and all of these things, they're just abstractions over D3. So if you need, so you either use something like this, or you use Canvas API and then some abstraction over it, right? Let's actually see if there's some issues. Initial crop. Yeah, this is pretty much what we have. This is literally what we have. What? Shit, man, are you kidding me? Huh, okay. Alright, alright. It's handy if you want to run Internet Explorer. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one, man. Do we really have to, like... Why? What? I mean, that is kind of weird, to be honest. Like... Somebody's lying here. Either these guys on GitHub are lying, or... Alright, well, that kind of doesn't help, does it? I was kind of almost too happy too soon. I was kind of happy a little bit ahead of time. Gatekeeping. Oh, yeah. Open source gatekeeping. No. But it's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one, actually. Wait, let me... Image crop. Yeah, fucking frontend, man. It's so hard. I've been programming in so many languages in my career. Nothing's more complex than building user interfaces. And I'm not even talking about web browsers. I've wrote user interfaces in Visual Basic, in Basic, in Qt, in my own C++ graphical user interface I built. And building user interfaces, man, it's so hard, no matter what it is. It can be C# and it can be whatever. It's just so many things. Building APIs, man, it's so easy. Which is why it's gonna get so easily, it's gonna get a lot quicker obsoleted than this crap. What was it? Crop. Yeah, on image load. So that's what we're kind of doing, right? Isn't it? Crop. Yeah, so we have a default value there. Let me just do one thing. Crazy thing, right? Let me just like try to whatever. Fuck that. So, fuck you, right? Let's just try that and see. Okay. Nah. Nah. Same stuff, right? Shit. I mean, honestly, yeah, I mean, nah. Alright, let me try just one more attempt. Let me pick my own picture. And let's see, does it still pick this side here? Yeah, it does, right? So it kind of picks... So it crops, essentially... And this is the irony, right? We're saying always select the whole image. So the crop size, in theory, should work, right? This is now confusing, right? Because you can see... You see basically the initial load, the size is like 4 kilobytes. So something's wrong. And then once we trigger the actual the crop manually, then it works. Crap, man. That sucks. Let's see if there's anything else that we can benefit from here. Mask doesn't showing. This is the most inaccurate English sentence that I've read in my entire life. It's absolutely fantastic. Mark doesn't showing the first time. I love programming community. Hi, and thanks for this tool. When I open the crop, okay. Can we ask cursor? No, not with these types of things. No, unfortunately, no. So cursor, like AI is really good for being almost like, as I call it, regex on steroids, right? For patterns and declarative stuff. For these types of things, in most cases, you're gonna finish things faster yourself than having, like, I could literally now ask the question to the agent, cursor agent, then I can leave it for 2 hours to fail, and I'm sure it's not going to fix it. Because again, we have to understand the only tiny problem with LLMs. They're not thinking, right? They're just matching text. It's pure probability. It's neural networks. It's vectorizing. It's right. So no matter how amazing AI is, and it genuinely is, it's amazing. It's still very limited in certain way, right? Yeah, this is our problem. This is our problem, right? Exactly, and that's fine. Look, that's absolutely fine, right? I mean, again, for me, AI is the most amazing tool that we've ever probably built as humanity when it comes to access to insane amount of knowledge. It's a beautiful tool. Of course, humanity as is, we are probably one of the most ungrateful species in the universe. I have no doubts about that. We can go from, wow, this is a miracle to 10 minutes later saying, fuck this shit, it sucks, it didn't give me exactly what I wanted, right? So I can see a massive discrepancy on the internet between people's expectations and this amazing tool that exists, right? People are already like, oh, I asked it a question and it didn't exactly do what I want. It's like, dude, come on, man, right? Put some effort, please, right? It's amazing. Yeah, so it seems we're not the only ones having this. How can I center the crop? But I think that's what we did, right? I mean, yeah, I mean, shut up, man. Isn't that what we did? Give me 1 sec. I don't find this particularly fun, to be very frank with you, but that's what it is. That's how it is. Do we need a solution or a tampon? If you're referring to this feature, I need to solve this now, craft, because it's a very important component. I'm going to reuse this across programmer network, so this has to work awesomely. Yeah, so it's still fucking failing, man. It's so irritating. Give me 1 second. Yeah. So an image load. Ah, crap, man. Let me just bypass this just for 2 seconds, just so we can actually see if we can figure it out. All right, let's review. So what do we do? So when the image loads, we call the crop set crop. And then we're having the crop inside of the actual image dialog. Do we really need this in here? Okay. Yeah, so we can already see that that's... Yeah, let's see. We'll get there. I mean, we have... Yeah. I mean, it's... Yeah. We just have to. There's... Yeah, what can I say? So let's set this to nothing initially. It's gonna complain a bit. That's okay. Let's just... So I think if we could just... do this... That's kind of at least what the people had that had the same issue said. Make aspect crop. Then comes the gay from work. I know you wanted to write guy. It just sounds funny. Sorry, man. It's okay, man. We all know a gay at work, don't worry. But you know what I mean. Man, okay, this is really frustrating. It's kind of funny that I'm wasting so much time on just this tiny shitty thing, man. Ah, dude. It's so dumb. It's so dumb, man. Okay, let's try with the AI. It's a desperate call. I'm having an issue with the initial crop, which is always wrong. For instance, I'd want to set the crop to center, so when users select an image and the crop appears and they don't even interface with the crop, they should be able to save the image and get some right now the crop seem to be set at point top left. Let's see. I don't know, man. It's a bit irritating, I must say. I understand your issue with image cropping component. The initial crop is currently set. Yeah, let's see what AI says. Now I understand the issue. It always says this, but I see. Yeah. Yeah, but my ego is way... Actually, you know what AI told me a couple of days ago? I was coding in the evening, and I started yelling at it, and it says, "Can we please keep this civilized?" Dude, I felt so bad. AI scolded me big time. I'm like, what? No, I swear to fucking God, man. It literally said, "Can we please keep it civilized?" And dude, I literally felt bad. I felt like an asshole. And I do feel like an asshole all the time, but... like, this was the next level asshole. Like, even AI was, you know, like, dude, can you just keep it civilized, please? Like, I'm like, man, dude, you know, wow. But you see, even AI failed, right? Literally, man, it literally AI told me, "I understand that you're frustrated, but can we please keep this civilized?" I'm like, dude, oh, okay, I mean, wow. That's what it is, man. Jesus Christ, man, it's generating so much gibberish. I'm just trying to figure out what it, under quotes, thinks, right? It's generating so much crap, man. It's incredible. And this is what I tried a minute ago, right? Exactly this, right? Small delay to ensure, yeah, just to fix a concurrency issue, you could say. Then we clear the timer here. Yeah, I mean... oh my fucking God, man. This is now gonna run forever. Because we're not also memoizing some of this stuff, so it's just gonna run. Because we're also, some of these things are objects, right? They're references. So, wait a minute, give me a second. No, Cursor just, yeah, Cursor wrote some of this. It tried to do something smart, right? But you can see it still doesn't work, right? So that is what I was saying a couple of minutes ago. Exactly my point, right? I'm probably X times faster at fixing this than the AI, right? So AI is amazing for many things when it comes to kinda semi-generic things. For this stuff, you can see that it actually generates just a bunch of gibberish that by the time you review and then figure out what it did, it's just pointless to even take that route, right? Jesus Christ, man, how can I fucking revert this garbage that it wrote? Yeah, this is my code now. Okay, good, good. Is the cursor with Sonnet 3 expensive? No, I mean my company pays for this, but I think we paid fixed price. We pay, I don't know how much we pay every month. Maybe $20, $30, $40 a month per developer. I don't honestly remember, to be very honest with you. But anyway, one thing here is for certain, right? When the image loads, we need to set the crop, which is something like this. And then this is the problem, right? So we can't depend. Yeah, that thing is super expensive, man. That thing is super expensive, and I don't think it's worth it, man. I mean, a lot of these tools are very useful for non-technical people who always had many good ideas. They're good at business. They wanna boilerplate their startup, because this is really the most valuable skill, is the business skill. Let's face it, right? So these types of tools are gonna help the most. It's gonna help us in a different way, but then these code generators, these agents, blah blah blah, right? That's gonna help non-technical people a lot more than it's gonna help you, right? What is console log? It's an animal. At this point in time, I'm kinda almost reluctant to give up a bit. I'm not actually sure. I'll just explicitly type it like this, and then I'm gonna attempt something like this, and then I'm gonna attempt something like this. Right, exactly. Right, yeah. And I'll actually just cast it to any, just for a second. We'll yeah, okay, so let's attempt this just for now, even though it's not a pixel crop. It doesn't matter. What is it bitching about now? Stories, okay. Actually, give me 1 second. Where the fuck is this coming from, man? It's a little bit annoying now. Why am I not getting any call stack or anything? What is the issue? Craft sounds good, friend. Thank you. So that kind of should be fine-ish almost, right? I don't actually get. Actually, let's read the error there, I guess. Yeah, but this is a warning. I don't think it's failing because of that. Unless it is. Maybe I made it super aggressive, did I? And now it's telling me to turn this into... Yeah, let's do it. Let's just wrap it in a use callback, right? Yeah, exactly. Sure. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's see now what happens. What? Why are you generating that, dude? Jesus Christ, man. It's hallucinating so much. Nice, now it worked. What? Now it worked. Jesus, finally, man. Yes. Think it did. Yeah, it did. Okay. Cool. Because we only want to call this once. If there's a crop, we want to say, hey, screw you. Yeah, I think that's it. I think we fixed it. Let's just clean it up now. I guess we need to... I mean, casting it is kind of shitty. Also, this is not a pixel crop, really. It's a percent crop as well. So we kind of need to do this. And then we need to also kind of do this. Actually, I think the first, this is... I think this thing actually gets percent crop like this. Nah, not really, right? And then I crop here. Alright, well that's gonna work, but we need to fix the types. The types are not correct now. And of course, it would be actually better if our initial crop is, let's say, basically like 50% maybe. And then we have X, we want it to be like media width by 2, so we kind of want to try centering it now. Well, that's not gonna do, will it? What if we add the height in as well? Nah, so it doesn't like media width. Let me just print this. Just to see what we actually get. I don't know if we're supposed to smack this guy in a template literal. I'm not actually sure. And then we need to move these guys inside. And then we need to say maybe px. I'm not sure. I don't think so, but yeah, actually no. This is taking an actual number, an integer, right? It's taking an integer, so that's fine. So yeah, technically that should work. So make aspect ratio. That's where we set it. And then console log banana. Let's see what is the crop that we get to this point in time, right? Banana undefined. Shit. Okay. Weird. Yeah, I think this is good. I think this is good enough. Yep. Yeah, that's it. I think this is good enough. Yep. I think this is good enough. I think that's it. I think that's it. Nice. Okay, good. There it is. There it is. Okay, let me commit this. And let me merge it. Good evening, Big Kano. How are you doing, buddy? Thank you for coming, man. So this is kind of good. Give me a second. So we've kind of moved that state there, which is fine, I suppose. We'll clean that one up. All right, let's commit that very quickly. Whew. Let's push it. And then I'm gonna very quickly go through this. So the only thing now left with this core component of ours is basically what is the interface we want for the save handler. So when you basically fire and save, right now we're essentially giving it a blob, which I believe is good. And then the consumer of the library can decide, hey, do I want this as a blob or base64? Or making it more convenient, we could say, well, how about we provide this as in any of the options, right? So we could technically already here. So what I could do is I could go to my image utils, images. Yeah. Do I have base 64? Base 64 to data URL. base64 to blob. Base64 to blob, so we need public static. Yeah. How do I go about changing the... you cannot change the email, unfortunately. Only I can do that. There's no such possibility now. But I'm very happy if you just send me a private message in Twitch, and I'll do that, and then when I do it, I'll answer. There's no way to do that, because even though it sounds very silly, like just changing an email, email is your primary identifier almost, right? Together with your username, and I need to then implement confirmation for that step. So if I can probably do that in a stream, right? But for now, you can just email me, and then so we can actually just keep it there, right? So we have this little utility here. We don't really need to... I mean, yeah, this is not a bad implementation to say. I guess it's fine. We could promissify this a little bit better, but it's okay. But either way, right? So here now, the handle save, we can update on save interface here, where we can provide either the blob. We can provide really all of it to the consumer, then consumer can decide what to use, right? So technically over here, we can say, you know what, we're gonna provide a blob and base64 as well. So I don't have to convert it outside, right? Actually not there, sorry. Blob is okay there, but on save, we'll provide this. No, that's okay. And then over here, we'll go ahead and say blob cropped image, base64 image utils, and then we convert this guy, right? Because I don't know how will I need this eventually, right? And then over here, we're gonna do the same. And then I can basically print both the blob and base64. And let me just run my tests. All right, cool. Nothing was broken there. Cool. Okay, so now technically, if I save, we should get the base64, which we do, and also we get a blob, right? Is that useful? Maybe. I don't know. Ah, this is an object, so actually we don't even need to do that. Okay, cool. Let's try building the project locally. See if there's any linting errors and stuff like that. There are. Fair enough. Let's fix them. Outplayed. Hey, buddy. Thank you, man. I mean, yeah, I used to stream, man, when I started long ago. But yeah, I don't know. Not as much. But thank you, man. Thank you. Good to know that that you enjoyed it. Good to see you. I don't know when I streamed last time. It's been maybe last week. When was it? I think once a week I'll manage to do, probably. Maybe twice a week sometimes as well. Okay, I think that should be the last one. Yeah, Saturday. Could be, exactly. Makes sense. Alright, beautiful. That's, we have some static acid generated there. We have the gzipped version. Yeah, that's quite big, but that's what it is. That's how it is. Okay. Let me just go ahead and clean some stuff up here. We don't want a redundant console logs all over the place. I'm just gonna stories are fine. Stories. Cool. Great. Let's disregard this, discard it. Yeah, that is great. Cool. And let's do this, and let's push it. Let's do that. And let's push it there. And let's go to Yale, right? Yeah. Pull requests. Okay, so I fixed that security. We have CodeQL Analyzer just for security stuff ready for review. As you can see, it's a lot of shit that I did, but I do this with very limited amount of time. So when I have a few hours to kill, I just do a lot of stuff. And this PR is huge because I upgraded React to version 19, this core library. Upgraded Tailwind to version 4 and a bunch of shit. So is that something you should be doing at home? No. But again, the time is lacking, unfortunately. I don't have much of it. All right, I'll just merge this. I'll actually merge this, and so that's fine whatsoever. We'll pull this, and then we need to deploy this to npm, right? We need to deploy it to npm. So what we need to do is we need to create a new tag. This is going to be 205. Yeah, I mean, you could say that this is quite a major rehaul. So I could even say this is a major version, whatever. Fastify, I use Fastify Node.js. Yeah, but I'll continue with these incremental tags because I have no versioning strategy here, no some versioning or whatever, right? Because I don't care. I'm probably the only one using this. So releases, what is the latest tag I created? 204, 205, yes. So I will just bump this to 205 then. Push that to master as well. And then we'll create a tag, right? So git tag 205 and push origin 205, right? Yes. v205, did we actually create a tag? Should be there, right? Tags. Yeah, there it is. Created now. This is the commit ID. Yeah. All right, cool. Technically, I mean, the linting and everything did work, so it should deploy to npm. And then, yeah. All right. Okay, let's see if there's any questions, just so we can chat a little bit. Very happy to help any of you. YouTube, Twitch, don't be shy. If you need any insights, any help, any guidelines, please. That's why I'm streaming. Just ask. Don't be shy. And I can see, yeah. I have some, please, yeah, anyone. let's chat a little bit. If you have anything that you need help with, I'm very happy to give you a hand, of course. Programming, career, whatever it is, I'll try my best. Give me 1 second. Yeah, let's let me grab a guitar while I'm waiting for some questions here. Ooh. Let's maybe turn off the music while we wait. Whenever you want to add some new knowledge to your arsenal, you watch a course from a start altogether. I don't watch courses much generally. Oh wait, let me actually fix the mic. Give me 1 second. I don't remember. Let me try again. We have another one. 21 working as a software engineer, long hours of work, no focus on health, but also enjoying and learning a lot because of the work, but it's toxic sometimes. I mean, what can I say? People are toxic sometimes, right? So that is inherently true, and it's gonna be true for the rest of your life, right? Okay, let's sing a bit. Let's kind of try to position this so we can kind of... Oh no. No, that's not what I wanted. From the WebAssembly talk, what do you think for a small-scale project which renders 3D objects that's good to be used for rendering? I mean, probably WebAssembly is the best for that, yes. Fucking acoustic guitar. I need to plug in the electric one. How did you first learn JS since you're not fond of course? Outplayed, I mean, I've been learning programming 20 years ago or more when I was a kid. So back then, YouTube didn't exist, so courses like these didn't exist. You would get a book and follow the book, or you would just build things, right? So courses are typically not the way that you learn programming in general, right? Most people who buy these courses, they actually never finish them, right? It will be Next.js and front-end just because I saw it. That's great, man. Fastify is most likely the best thing that happened to Node.js community since Node.js exists. Now, your other choices, such as all of the other stuff, Next.js, that's up to you, of course. I don't use these abstractions, but if you find it useful, why not? Cool, man. That's great. Cool, cool. Alright, well, I can see that people are very fond of the music and of the questions, so it seems that we should probably get the stream to an end, unless there's nothing more to discuss. Can you elaborate on just build stuff? Well, I mean, find the project and you should be asking questions. Find the project that you want and start building it, right? There are two ways to learn in life. There's a bottom-up approach and top-down approach, right? So what you're discussing here is a bottom-up approach of learning, which is typical for academia and schools, where you learn a bunch of random concepts and then you wait until you can use them. And then there's a top-down approach where you start building things already and then learn as the concepts are required, or as the need for these concepts reveal itself, right? So the reason why a lot of people fail programming is exactly because they choose the bottom-up approach. They start with this classical academic way of learning, right? So no matter what you're learning, it can be a carpenting or it can be programming. The best thing to do is to always put yourself in a problem, right? I'm not doing the Habit app. I think you're talking about the guy called the DevDad. I think he was the guy that also used to stream. Well, neither of us are really streaming anymore. I think you're talking about this guy here. The DevDad, this guy, right? Yeah. I think you're talking about this guy, but he hasn't also streamed in a very long time. Yeah. You start a project and just Google the stuff. I mean, you don't have to Google stuff, man. You can buy a book, you can get a course, you can learn from many resources out there, right? I'm just saying, courses are not how humanity exists for thousands of years, right? We haven't been learning from courses since we exist. We've been buying books and reading books, right? But yeah, you start building and then you have a book or you have a course, or it's a combination of things. You go to YouTube, right? So you just start building something and then you start exploring, right? Learn by writing a book about the thing you want to learn. That's not a bad one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's not a bad advice, honestly. Not at all. There's no better way to learn than to teach. I agree 100%. 100%. Of course, man, my pleasure. That's why I'm streaming. And yeah, please, guys, don't forget to sign up. Don't forget to sign up. I mean, yeah, let's just do it like this. All right, fellas, time to go. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much for coming. I'll see you guys sometime soon. Have a good one. Have a good night. Have a good day wherever you are. And Rebecca, pleasure meeting you again, as always. I'll see you guys another time. Thank you very much, everybody. Vikrant, thank you very much, buddy. Craft and everybody, peace out. I'll see you guys another time. Outplayed, you too, buddy. You too. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye. Artificial guy.